Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is another live with Jay, the digital fisherman. Tonight we're going to be talking about 2024. And first of all, I want to thank everybody who is. Let me get my hat straight here. Kind of hard when you reverse here, but it looks all right. Anyway, I want to thank everybody who has supported my channel, who has subscribed. I just started a few months ago, and so I want to make sure I give everybody a big thank you because I think I have 17 subscribers now. So I'm going to keep going, and I'm working on getting better footage. I'm working a ton. I'm actually in my just got off work now, so I'm going to get out here and go live so I can tell everybody what my year was like and kind of give you an overview of what I experienced this year because I learned a lot. I fished a lot of different places. I went all over the country, and I wanted to share that with you guys. So, but first of all, I want to just say happy holidays, happy New Year to everyone. Hopefully, everybody had an amazing holiday season with their family, and thank you because I was trying to do this channel for a long time and just work gets in the way. I work 12-hour days and it's not easy. It's really not easy. So you just have to push and push and push. And it's been tough for me the last 3 or 4 months. Probably it's a lot longer than that because I've been working on a lot of different things. But anyway, I'm on here. I wanted to share my experiences with you. We're going to start off with I started in January, and I'll just kind of go through the year and tell you what I did. But I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot. I traveled a lot, and I wanted to show you guys some of the things that I used. And really wasn't. There was a couple trips that were more successful than others, but it was like this was a learning curve for me. Um, when you start a channel, you want to learn how to put yourself out there. There's so much to learn. There's so much equipment. There's so much. Like when I'm creating content, there's a lot of camera, learning curve you got to do, and you want to put a good product out there. And there's so many people out there online that are so good at it. I'm just trying to be myself. Let me turn this down a little bit, and so you guys can see me. But anyway, it's just this was a learning year for me, and I did learn a lot, and I'm hopefully going to get a lot better at putting content out. But I just wanted to be informative. If you guys have any constructive criticism or any kind of ideas or what you guys want me to do differently, I would love that because it's a learning thing. I'm definitely always a student. I want to make sure that I'm giving out as much information as I can to help as many people as I can. So anyway, let's get to it. So the year started off in January, right? I traveled to Savannah, Georgia, and the reason why I went there is because my buddy was out there and he said, "Hey man, we're catching sheep's head." Now, sheep's head are a saltwater fish. They call them convicts. And the great thing about them is they only eat shellfish, barnacles, shrimp, crab. And so the meat is really, really good. And they're one of the best tasting fish I've ever had. And they're one of my favorite saltwater fish to eat. And I've traveled to Florida a few times to catch them, and because of that reason. But anyway, this is where I went because normally the size for sheep's head, they can get really big in some areas. But average, 2, 3 pounds, 4 pounds, that's a pretty decent size sheep's head, enough to where you can fillet them and get some good fillets off of them. But so I flew all the way out there. I was supposed to stay with a buddy of mine, and I just never did. Just he flaked is what happened. I was supposed to stay with him. We planned it out. He said, "Yeah, come on out, man. I'll stay at my place, and I got a couple other guys that are gonna show up, and we'll all just kind of go out. And I'm gonna show you where to go, and blah blah blah." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I booked the flight like I don't know, 5 months, about 4 or 5 months in advance because I know I haven't seen him in a long time. He's from California, but he moved to Savannah. He said, "Come on out, and then I'll show you." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And so what happened was when I went out there, it didn't really turn out the way I thought it was going to be. And so when I flew out there and he was supposed to come pick me up from the airport, and there was an issue with that. And so his buddies were supposed to show up, and two of them were supposed to show up. One of them did, the other one didn't. And then I made my way to his house, and it was let's just say I couldn't stay there. There was not enough room. There was just it was bad. It wasn't where I wanted to be. So it was more comfortable for me to go ahead and rent a hotel room so I can have my own place. Because I had a lot of stuff, I had my fishing equipment and everything with me, and I was going to be there a week. So I was already upset that he didn't, fulfill his part of the bargain. He didn't do what he said he was going to do, and I just don't like that. I don't like it. If you guys know anybody out there that just doesn't say they're going to do something and they never do it, it's a big problem for me, and I don't like it at all. So he made me, made me really upset. I got my own place, and I said, I'm just going to go out here. I'm going to go fishing. I don't know what he's going to do, but the problem was he had a car, and we were supposed to use his car to go, and he's supposed to take me around Savannah and show me where to go and all that. And he didn't do that. So what happened was I had to Uber everywhere and Lyft everywhere. And there was another little system they had where you guys pick you up and drop you off, whatever. And I was able to go to different places, limited to go to walk down. And I got the chance to visit some places, and I got to see Savannah pretty good. And I got to go fishing out there. But the whole thing with him was just a disappointment to put it there. I haven't talked to him, to be honest with you, since. But anyway, I went fishing. I went to Bass Pro Shops, and I asked one of the employees there what I should use, where I should go, tips, techniques, and lures that people might be catching them on. That's a really good tip to do, because what you want to do is, if you're new to an area and you don't know what you should do, even though what people tell you to do, one of the best secrets and tips you can do is go to the bait shop, or if they don't have a Bass Pro Shops, go to the bait store and ask the guys there, because what happens is they'll know, because people come in and tell them they know what they want to buy and they know what they're fishing for, and they'll have a better inside eye track on where to go, what to use, how to use it, and what people are catching them. So use that tip. Just go to the bait shop. If you're new to an area and you're not sure what to do, go to a bait shop, ask them, and they'll give you some idea. Now, you got to take it with a grain of salt, because sometimes they just want to, some guys just want to sell you stuff. So, hey, use this lure, and it's like, $45 because this is what they're catching them on. So take that into consideration. But if you could tell somebody's being honest with you, just a lot of times live bait works. If that's like a go-to, you can take worms, any kind of worms, or if they have minnows, you can use minnows. Those two will be pretty universal. But if you want this, a lure that people are catching them on, or just a little more insight, just go to a bait shop and ask those guys. So I did that, and they bought, what they used some of, they sold me a couple of crab lures, which are imitations, which sheep said love crabs. So I was like, okay, cool. I bought a couple of those, and then I Ubered out to the ocean. I made a couple of videos for that too. And that's another thing I was telling you about the camera thing. Collecting footage and editing it and putting it all up there so people can get an idea of what you're doing is a learning curve. And I'm still learning at it. And I apologize if I haven't got out as much as I wanted to, but I'm getting better at it, and I will get gooder. I got a GoPro now, and I'm really going through it, because I bought like a lesser version of it. But GoPros are different than some of the other cameras that you see. So I have footage on some of the cameras, some of the underwater cameras that I use. I use the EKV 7000. I did a video for that one too, because it was like $65, but the GoPro is like $400. But they're better. They're a lot better. They just do a lot more. They come with a battery. Here's mine here. I'm getting ready to charge it. So it comes with a battery, and they're pretty. They're a lot better. And this is the 12. So this comes with a battery, and they run longer, and you can mount them on different things. So I'm learning, and they're touchscreen. Like this has a touchscreen on the back of it. So there's a lot more that I'm watching videos on how to get really good at this, because this is gonna be my GoPro on my boat, on my on my tube and all that, because you put it on your chest or you put it on your hat. Some guys put it up on their hat. I don't really want to do that, because if my hat falls off, it's gonna get wet and it's gonna be gone. I'm gonna put it on my chest. That's a better way to do it. But I'm learning. So I will be putting more information this year. I'm gonna go. I bought As you guys know, I bought an inflatable boat. I did a floor for it. I modified it and got it all rolled and dialed into. And so I took that out a couple times, and it still needs. I need to tighten it up and make some more adjustments so it's more thing. But I also picked up another fiberglass little 8-foot boat that I can do myself. I can carry it out there, and I don't have to worry about blowing it up. Now, here's some advice. Like I have you can see it in my thing. There's a if you want to save some money, I got the Excursion 5-person inflatable boat. It's a really nice boat, big. It's like 12 foot. And the issue that I have with it is because it takes so long to get it set up. It comes in it, you can deflate it and fold it up and put it in a bag, but then you have to inflate it. So I got a cordless inflator, and I got got all of the I got all of the things that I needed to inflate it, right? And the problem is it just takes a lot longer to do. It takes an hour. And what I did was I have a compressor in my house, so I would fill up one chamber, and that way I could save some time. And even doing that, it still takes time. So I'm working on that. I got a little, what I did was I bought a cordless compressor that I could take out with me that will expedite the speed because it will fill it up a lot quicker. So hopefully that's going to shave some time off too. But in the meantime, I want to go fishing a lot more because I don't want to have time an hour and a half here because I work so much. I want to get out there, sometimes after work and for a couple hours, and I don't have an hour to blow up my boat. So I bought a fiberglass 10-foot, like an 8-foot boat. It holds 2 people. I can wheel it down, put it on the water, put my trolling motor on it with my battery, and I'm on the water and I'm fishing. And that's gonna be quick. And I'm really excited about that because I just got that one a couple weeks ago. So I'll be taking that out this weekend. I'm gonna try it out this weekend, but and do some footage. And I'm gonna get it to work. And mount you mount your GoPro, so it's always videotaping you. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm doing that's gonna make sure my content is better for next year. So anyway, what I wanted to tell you is that you'll just look forward to more content on my boat, on my little boat, especially because I can go out by myself or I can go out with my girl and we can both be out there because we're gonna catch a lot of fish next year. Because I'm excited about it. I'm gonna go try it out this weekend. But back to Savannah. So we went out there and I used the lures that the guy at the Bass Pro Shop showed me about there. I was out there and I go walking out there and there's surfers right where he was telling me the secret spot. People were surfing out there. So I'm like, okay. So I walked down from them, cast it out and fish, for about an hour, 2.5 hours. I got one bite and then that was it. I didn't get any kind of catch from any fish at all. So I called my Uber just before dark, had them come get me, drove me back to my hotel, and then I went fishing at another part of that beach area, and I didn't get any bites that time either. So I just said, all right, well, cool. And the weather started getting crazy, so I just walked around Savannah and learned and walked, just kind of visited and learned Savannah. That was a Savannah trip. Then we moved on to, I also came back, and then I took another vacation about 2 months later to Florida. Now, this trip was totally different. Like we went down there for a week. We stayed at a hotel right on the beach in Daytona Beach, and we like to fish Ponce Inlet in Florida. It's one of the best places you can fish. And I've caught sheepshead. I've caught mangrove snapper. A guy caught like 100-pound shark out of there. You can catch all different types of fish right there. Bluefish. I mean, it's right there on the saltwater pier. So we caught a bunch of fish there too. But what we did was we took a guide from a guy that I've been watching on YouTube too. You can go check him out. His name is Chris from Salty Strikes, right? I've been watching him for about a year, and I booked a trip with him, a guide trip to take me out for some sheepshead, like I said, because those are my favorite saltwater fish to eat. They're the best tasting, and I want to get good at catching them. But they're saltwater and they're really good. They're really big in the Florida, North Carolina, Georgia. You can catch them in the Gulf of Mexico, things like that. So that story it's a really good story because we go out and we meet him in the morning right there going out of Ponce Inlet, and he knows that area. He lives down there, and he's been pretty good. I watch him. He has really good success. So, And he's a good dude, really good dude. Chris is a really good dude. Shout out to Chris. But he took us out, and I told him what we wanted, and he goes, well, I don't know. He was really nervous because there's a good time to go for him, and there's a better time to go for him. He goes, you guys got kind of in the middle because there's spawn in like December, January, and then there's a post spawn, and then then they go back to feeding you throughout the year, and you kind of caught the middle of it. So he wasn't optimistic at all. And so we're like, okay, well, we're here now. Someone told me earlier in the year you have to catch them, so that's why I booked it at this time. And it was in February is when we went. And so we get out on the boat first thing in the morning, meet him in the morning, and go out. And then the first place we go to, he goes out and he goes, we were using fiddler crabs, and we were using just shrimp. Actually, no, we were just using shrimp. That's right. He was using shrimp, and he showed a little technique where you tear off the end, you put the hook in where the hook's coming up, right? And we were just using shrimp. First place we went to, couple little bites, nothing. And I'm like, okay, so we just keep moving, and then we went to the next spot, and then we caught one, but it wasn't busy at all. The third spot we went to, all of a sudden it was like as soon as we got there, we got a bite. Me and my girl were getting bites. We're okay, we got a bite. Then I caught one, right? And here's a little thing. I've been fishing for sheepshead for, I went there 2 or 3 times and never caught a legal one. They have to be 12 inches. And all the ones that I caught were before were 11 and a half, 11 and a half, 11 and a half, right? 11 and a half. Never got one. Never got my first legal sheepshead, which was the reason why I wanted to go down there. And the first one I catch, guess again, 11 and a half. It's like, okay, well, this is how it's going to be today. We're going to find out. So the good thing is, couple casts later, I hook up another one because he got us on a good area where there was some fish there. Pull it up. It's 12 inches. Finally got my first legal sheepshead. So I'm good, right? Got one. And because we weren't supposed to catch any. We got there at the wrong time. Anyway, put that one in the box because I like to fillet them, cook, and eat. That's my thing. And so we got that one, and then my girl gets one. Her first one was like 14 and a half inches. So, and we kept getting good bites. We got a lot of good bites. And so catching one about 14, and then I catch another one, and we ended up catching. We got bites for probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours, right? Because it's only a 4-hour trip, and so we did really well. We did a lot better than he thought we were gonna do. We have it on. We're actually on YouTube now, so if you guys want to go on YouTube and check it out, it's on Salty Strikes, and it's Chris is the guy our guide, and so he took us and put us on shrimp. I'm on sheepshead, and we ended up catching 17 that day. We caught 8 keepers, so it was cool. We took eight fish home, and we stay where we can cook them, right? And so he also cast it out while we were fishing, and he caught a little whiting, which we caught that too. We kept that too. So we had fish for the week, right? Because you're only there for a week, and I like to catch fish every day and eat fish, every day we're there. So we had an awesome day. We're on, like I said, we're on YouTube right now. So if you guys want to go check out Salty Strikes, you can. And so that was an awesome trip. Now, that was Florida, right? And so after we left there off to Florida, I packed up all my fishing stuff, and we had also booked a cruise the week after that. So we flew down, we picked up her daughter and her husband, and we drove down to Miami, and we jumped on a ship right after going on vacation for a week in Florida. We drive all the way down, we pick up the kids, drive all the way down to Miami, and get on a big Carnival cruise ship, which I've never taken a cruise before. So it was my first cruise ship. It was awesome. It was a fun trip. There's lots of stuff to do. And what I hear people tell me is like, you can eat all day. There's all kinds of food everywhere. Because there are restaurants you can eat, with no charge and all that. But there are restaurants that you go out to pay, out of your credit card that you have to put on the boat before you even get on the boat. Right. So that was cool. I mean, so we went there, and where we went to 3 different islands. We went to Puerto Rico. We went to the Dominican Republic, then we went to St. Thomas. And first we went to Dominican Republic first, then we went to Puerto Rico, then we went to St. Thomas. And it was great, there's a lot to do on a boat. There's a lot to do on the ship. Okay. There's always something going on that keeps you busy. And that was good and that was fine. If you want to go there to relax, you can stay in your room if you want to, or you can just lay out on the pool or do whatever you want to. And so just to relax, because there are different pool areas. And it was fun. We got on the boat. It was fun. They welcomed everybody. It was different. It was cool. They had a roller coaster on this one. So I was taking it all in and videotaping as much as I could too. You know what I mean? So I got to have fun on the boat. Did some miniature golf, which was cool. Super windy outside. Plus you're on the water. So miniature golf, can imagine how that was. Played ping pong. I played basketball. They had a basketball court up there. And so it was fun. It was a good time. For me personally, if I'm going to spend that much time on the boat, and it turned out to be really, really kind of pricey, because we were pretty good. The drinks were like $15-20 a piece, a drink, and they didn't ask you for a tip after that, but they're also forcing you at the end of the trip to put they take a gratuity out of your total. For everybody has to pay a tip, no matter what or who they are or whatever in the room. Everybody has to pay a tip. So I wasn't too happy about that, but it's just a lot of money to take a cruise to try and have fun. And for me, I was like, yeah, it was cool, but if I'm gonna spend that kind of money, I'm gonna take a fishing trip, fly to Canada, get on a guide trip, catch some fish so I can ship them back, and then I'll have fish when I get back. Or go to Alaska, do the same thing. Because for the same amount of money, I could have went to three different trips, fishing trips. So that's my thing. Cruises not right. They were fun. It's an experience. Like I said, I took a cruise, and I know how to navigate through a boat. That's fun, but it's just not for me. I'm not a cruise guy. I just don't want to go on a boat, because every time we're on the water, guess what? I want to go fishing. I want to throw my rod out and see if I can. Every time we stop somewhere, I want to go fish somewhere. But you can't take the fish on the boat. You can't. All that stuff goes on. And fishermen like me, I'm like, it's kind of like I'm handcuffed on the boat because I can't fish. Now I do have to say, we did get a chance to go do snorkeling, which I love to snorkel. I love the water. So when we first went to the Dominican Republic, the weather was crazy. So we never got a chance to go snorkeling there, but we did go take a taxi and drove around town and got to do some eat some authentic food. And we stopped at this great restaurant. Everything was great. Everything was good. Everything was good. Went to this one area where it's the pink city. I guess everything, the bricks are pink. Everything's pink. Bought a little bottle of rum. Everything was good. So I got to experience the Dominican Republic without going to the beach. And then after that, we got back on the boat. Another day, we were at Puerto Rico. Now, Puerto Rico is beautiful. Both all islands are really, really, they're beautiful. And the beach was amazing. So I went snorkeling at Puerto Rico, and I'm going to grab some stuff that I got from snorkeling. So hang on a second. Okay, so what I do, I went snorkeling, and I like to collect, some of the shells, seashells, and I'm gonna make a design out of them. Put some colored sand in. I'm gonna dress this up. But all these are from Puerto Rico. So I'm gonna show you what I found. So these are some of the things that I got at Puerto Rico. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, the light, don't know if you can see that, but these are some cool little rocks that I got, and I found one. I got one shell. I don't know if you can see it in there. I'm gonna show you. This was the only one in Puerto Rico. I found this shell here, the she shell here. I dove down to about 25 feet to get this. It's the only one I could find, because a lot of tourists go down there and they collect them, but this is from Puerto Rico. So I got these little containers, and I'm gonna dress them up, and and then put some sand on them, make them pretty. But this is my Puerto Rico snorkeling collection, right? Which was fun. I was in the water for 3 hours, probably 2.5, 3 hours, something like that. And then The next island was St. Thomas. Now, St. Thomas was cool. It took a long, we took a bus to get to the boat. The beach wasn't right there. Now, my idea when you go on a cruise, I'm thinking you're supposed to pull up, get off the boat, and you're right there at the beach, and then you go do your thing. But it's never like that. When you're taking a cruise, you got to take a bus or take a shuttle to the beach. And there's a charge, they charge you $14, $15, $20, whatever is the person, one way to get to the beach, and $20 cost me, $80 to get back and forth with all four of us to on St. Thomas, right? So it was cool, but the water was great, crystal blue. It was like it's clear. There was a lot of people. They took us to one little beach. I'm not really sure it was, but I got some. The coral was different there. There were these types of coral here. These are long. I don't know if you see them, but they're kind of long. And they have a hole. They have a hole in the top of them. I don't know if you can see that. I'm sorry, guys can't see that, but there's a hole in the front. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there's a hole in the front of them, and they're long and they're tubular. So I thought that was kind of cool. And they're white. See how white that is? They're all white. They're like the white. You can see them in the bottom. So I got a bunch. I got a bunch of those. I didn't get as many, but because we weren't there as long. But I got a lot of the long ones. So you can see. This is what you get from St. Thomas. They're long and they're skinny like that. I couldn't find any conch. I was looking for a conch shell, and I couldn't find any of those. So, but I collected just rocks that I like. That's cool. You know what I mean? I'm collecting them so I can give little souvenirs, and I got these little jars for them. So I'm gonna label them. I'll make them like pretty. Put some shells and stuff. I'm just gonna dress them up. But that's the fun that I had on the cruise. I got the snorkel in Puerto Rico, and I got a snorkel in St. Thomas. The food was pretty good too, because on the beach they always come down, and they ordered a bunch of Jamaican stuff there, and it was all pretty good. Curry chicken, curry goat. There was plantains. There was plantains. So we had fun. We had a good time, and then got back on the boat, and then took the ride all the way back to Miami, which was cool. So that went the cruise, right? And it was cool. I mean, I got a chance to go take a cruise. I tried a lot of different things, a lot of different food items. There was a Guy Fieri had 2 or 3 restaurants on there, so we tried his burger. Some of it was okay, some of it was subpar. You know what I mean? But it was a good experience. It's just not for me, because if I have that kind of money to spend, I'm gonna spend it on a fishing trip where I can fly in, get on a guide, go catch some 200-pound halibut and salmon, and and all that good stuff, and then fly the meat back to me so I can fill my deep freezer, and then I'll have fish the rest of the year. That's my idea of a great trip. So, but anyway, it was cool. I got a chance to go take my first cruise. Now, after that, we went to we took a trip. I had my boat. We drove down. We rented a car, a Jeep. Actually, it was a Jeep Gladiator. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that. It's a Jeep Gladiator, and rented that up, loaded my boat, loaded all the fishing stuff, and we drove to Payson, Arizona. We drove to LA, and then we drove we went down through Arizona, and then we drove all the way up to Payson. It was like a 15-hour drive. Like me and my girl split it up, and we got all the way out there, and we went to a timeshare in Payson. And so that was cool. The Jeep was great. We got a chance to go fishing. We went there to go fishing. We went to 3 little bodies of water, and it was fun. I got to try out my boat, which I was excited about that. It worked out fine, and we did catch fish. We went fishing in a little local pond in Green Valley Reservoir, I think is what it's called, in Payson. Caught a bunch of bluegill. Got to bring those home, cook those up, and eat them. Excuse me. And then we went to another lake, and there's guys catching a bunch of trout. We weren't fishing. We were just checking it out right by our timeshare, and they were catching trout, like tons of trout right off the shore, right before dark. We didn't get a chance to go back there and fish that, but we were out there watching those guys do it. And so, we did go fishing, but we didn't catch anything. They did. We didn't have any bait. No, we caught 2 trout. Yeah, caught 2 trout, 2 little trout, and then we went to Lower Lake Mary in Payson, which is it was great because we drove all the way up there. Took about half hour, 45 minutes, and they have walleye, they have pike, they have yellow perch up there. So that's I was excited about that, and so we drove all the way up there and took the boat out again, and it worked out fine, worked out good. And my girl caught two big old pike, right? I didn't catch anything. I was a guide. I got to drive around and watch her catch fish, which was cool. It was good. But I'm fishing. I don't care. You know, they call it fishing. They don't call it catching. They call it fishing. And so if I'm on the water, I'm happy. If I catch fish, I'm good, right? Because I'm not new to the water. Obviously, I wanted to catch something, but I was trying to make sure we had the boat right, and I was just getting everything ready and getting everything dialed in so we could have a good time. And I had fun. It was great. It was a good time. So we caught fish in all three different places we went fishing. And then we drove all the way back. And this trip was amazing too, because on the way back, we stopped in Arizona and we got to go see Earth, Wind, and Fire, which was amazing. I mean, they were playing with Chicago, so we got to see both of those groups on the way back to LA. And then after that concert, we went to the biggest, as many artists as you could think of concert in LA, right? This one, it had 50 different. It's called the Fool in Love concert. If you guys look that up, Fool in Love concert in LA. Now this thing had everybody I grew up with, everybody from the Emotions. It had the Isley Brothers. It had the Whispers, Lionel Richie, Diana Ross, Smokey Robinson, Al Green, Confunction, Tower of Power. I mean, the list, the Sister Sledge, Gladys Knight and the Pips, Chaka Khan. I mean, this was the reason why we took the trip, and we added it on because we wanted to go fishing, and then we came back and we went to this amazing concert. There was 50 different places because different artists there, and I videotaped it. I put some videos on my TikTok too, if you guys want to check that out too. But it was an amazing concert. It was an all-day concert. Never been, you got there at 11 o'clock in the morning, didn't leave till 11 o'clock at night, and we got to see everybody. Diana Ross and Lionel Richie closed it out at the end, but there was so many. George Clinton was there. I mean, it was like I said, the OJs were there. The Jackson 5 were there. Now that was the last time I got Tito. For me, Tito, we saw Tito before he passed. Tito was on base there, and Marlon was there, and Randy was there, and so they did a tribute. They were actually really, really, really good, but that was the last time. Good time we seen him because Tito passed after we got back, right? And so the Jackson 5 was there. There were so many different groups there. It was amazing concert, but it was a long, all-day concert. It worked out great, but I wanted to, that's what we went to. It's called the Fool in Love concert. They had food. They had so many different venues. It was kind of crazy at one point where everybody was trying to go see Smokey Robinson and Al Green because he pulled a big crowd, and people started getting rude and just were out of pocket. I don't like big crowds like that because people are just not, they're just not cordial. They just, people are all about themselves. So I didn't like that aspect about it at all, but I did get a chance to see a lot of people that I wanted to see, and we had a good time. So after that, we came back, and there's another lake on the way back. It's actually 4 hours from Sacramento, but since we were coming back anyway, we came back to the hotel, spent the night, got up, and then drove 3 hours to a lake. It's called Lake Nacimiento. It's about an hour outside of LA, hour and a half outside of LA, but it's 4 hours from Sacramento, and they have white bass in that lake, right? And it was around Labor Day weekend, which I thought it'd be plenty of time because it's a big lake and had lots of fingers in it, right? It's a big area lake, and I thought I was gonna be able to go there and fish when we on the way back. And Labor Day weekend is not the best time to do it. I have I don't know if I uploaded a video at all. Excuse me. Because when we got there, super packed. All of the fishing area was full of people swimming. The only one place we drove around to try and see if we could Go fishing was you had to go all the way down the hill to try and go fishing. There was no launching the boat at all because there were just so many people there. The water had been churned up because people were water skiing, jet skiing, wakeboarding. It was not a fisherman's nothing. It was like I was hopeful. I was hoping there wasn't gonna be too many people there, but that place was packed. We went in, drove around, looked at it, stopped, parked, looked down to see if we can go fishing, and then said we were right back out, and then kept it moving because the guy said, "Oh yeah, there's a lake above us. They're even worse." So I'm like, "Okay, well, it's time to go back to," and we just headed on back home. So, excuse me, the long days catching up to me. But anyway, so that was the Arizona trip, right? Went to Payson, Arizona, fished at 3 different spots, caught fish there, caught 2 pike, a bunch of. Here's another thing about Payson I forgot to tell you. There were so many crayfish, crawdads right there at the shore. We probably caught 80 of them, 90 of them. It was drop down, pick up, drop down, pick up. And I actually peeled them, took the tails off, and they're like little shrimp. So we had shrimp, like little crawdad tails with rice and the pike for dinner that night too. Because there's so many crawdads there, right? That lake has a lot of crawdads in it. So that was another little caveat that they had from Payson. But so we went there, fished 3 different places, caught fish there, and then went to see Earth, Wind, and Fire. And then we went to LA to the Fool in Love concert, saw the 50 bands, came up, tried to go fishing at Lake Nacimiento. Didn't really work out, so we came all the way back to the house, and it was cool. So that was our week and a half trip to Payson, Arizona, which is cool. I got a chance to take my boat out, figured out what I needed to do before I modified it. Now it's a lot better because I have seats in it and it's so much comfortable. It's just that it takes so long to fill it up, right? You guys might have seen some of the videos where I was getting it ready when we're on that one little body of water. You might have seen some videos for that too. And I don't know if the YouTube channel that I have is just for fishing. Now on my TikTok channel, you might there's a lot of different. I have 2 different channels on there too, for fishing, and then for advertising. You guys want to learn how to make money using your phone, the internet, and the computer. I can show you how to make money, so you can go travel and go fishing wherever you want to. That's where it started, right? And that's on my TikTok channel. So that was our Arizona trip. Now after that, we went to where else did we go? We went to. I just got back from Texas. Now, this was kind of a spur of the moment thing because my girl's family was going to meet there, but they had they changed everything around. Her daughter is a fighter pilot, and she's flying in Del Rio, Texas, right? And I can't think La Rosa or something like that. The flight training there. It's amazing. I mean, they have the top of the line. She wants to drive. She wants to fly a fighter plane, F-16. I mean, so they're training right now, which is awesome. And so we went down there and checked it out. And there's also a lake called Lake Amistad. That lake is huge, right? Half of it is in America. The other half is in Mexico. So I wanted to go fishing from there and see, just see what they have there because I brought my little travel rods that I took, the same ones I took to Savannah, right? We went down there and then we got a chance the weather is like 75 degrees. I mean, sunny. And I think that's why they have the flight school down there because the weather is so good, right? Got to be 76 degrees in December. This was 2 weeks ago. We just got back last Monday, a week ago. We got back a week ago. Or 3 days ago? Yeah, Monday. We got back New Year's Eve. We got back, and so, but yeah, I got a chance to go fishing on Lake Amistad. I tried to look. I think I have footage on my GoPro. I'm gonna look for that up. I'll be uploading that if I can find it and get that up for you. But just from the shore, and I threw everything at these guys. I mean, I threw some stuff. I got the top water. I threw worms. I tried to fish around the docks for crappie with little crappie jigs and little curly tails. And I mean, I use Cincos, I use, jigs off the bottom. I tried minnow imitations. I threw everything at these fish, everything. I tried everything. I fished for about, I don't know, 2 hours, 3 hours, and no bites at all. I got no kind of bite. And the wind was crazy. It was so windy, right? Which is the worst thing when it comes to fishing. Wind is the worst thing that you could do. You don't want wind ever, because it's the worst way. You don't want to fish in the wind, because it affects everything. You cast this way, and the wind will blow your rod the line way over there, right? Cast to the left and end up over here. It's crazy the way the wind does that for you, right? And so what happens is it just makes fishing miserable. So I fought it, and I was there for, like I said, for 3 hours fishing, and then we loaded up to try and go to another place, but we were in a little Mustang, so when the roads got kind of crazy, I didn't want to drive down the dirt road to get to another part of the lake, so we just turned around and came back, thinking we were going to go to another place, but we just never did. But I did get a chance to fish Lake Amistad in Texas. So it was cool. It was like, I know what I need. You need a boat. You really need a boat. And the lake was really, really low. So, and I did see other bass guys out there fishing, because that's one of the most famous lakes for tournaments. When it's, probably when it's up too, because it was down, 60 feet, 80 feet, who knows, right? But I've seen Bassmasters tournaments or Bass Pro Shops tournaments on that lake with all the pros fishing that lake when it's high and the fish are bedding, and they've got monster bass, because they have the lakes in, like I said, they have the lakes in Mexico, have the lakes in California, and those fish spawn sometimes twice a year. So I was excited to go fish them. Now I can say I went to Texas and I fished Lake Amistad. So that's pretty much my year in review. Like I said, I started the YouTube channel called The Digital Fisherman. If you guys can go over there and check that out for me. So new guys, can you subscribe? That way you can help me get build my channel. I will be adding content, and now I can go live at home. I can't go live on my phone yet, because I need 50 followers to go live on my phone. Then I'll start doing it at work. But when I get home, I'll be going live at least once a week at home, because I can. Talking about fishing and all my fishing trips. So we're talking fishing. If you guys want to learn, you guys want to know about fishing, you have any questions, hop in. I'm gonna let you guys. I'll answer all the questions for real. We'll have a Q&A session, and that way I can kind of go over questions that we have. And if you have any concerns, if you want to know what I'm using and what I like, then I'll be able to answer any questions you have. But again, I want to thank everybody for supporting me, for subscribing, helping me grow my channel. Watch some of my videos. There's a lot of good information on there. I have an ebook. You can check that out too, because if you're new to fishing, there's an ebook I have. It'll go through everything that you need to get started. It starts off with panfish. So if you got kids, it's a great family event. You can take your kids out fishing, and I'll teach you what you need to do, where you need to go, and how to catch fish. First time you're out there, you need to take your kids out there, and then be doing something you can do when they get out for summertime or all year round. Okay, so that's in my information. You can want my ebook. It's in there too. It's a really good. It's got everything that you need when it comes to location, gear, line. What you can do with them, and all great information. So if you want that, you're interested, go ahead and check it out. But like I said, I want to thank everybody for joining my channel. Thanks again for spending the time with me. I'm Jay, the Digital Fisherman. Thank you. Like, subscribe, comment. If you have any questions, let me know where you like to go fishing, what you like to go fishing for. That would be great. Where you're located at. If you see my channel, comment. Let me know. I would love that. I love feedback. So I appreciate that. You guys have a happy New Year. You know what I mean? I hope you guys had a great holiday, and you'll be seeing more. Check some more of my videos out. But in the meantime, guys, be safe out there, because, just make sure that you're aware of everything is going around with you. Just be careful, be safe, take care of everybody, take care of each other, just be nice. You know what I mean? And in the meantime, have a great and powerful year. Okay? Have a great and powerful year. That's what I wanted to tell you guys. Have a great and powerful year. All right, guys. We'll see you guys next time.